So let's just settle into our meditation posture and try and settle our minds and try and get in touch with this place of stillness. One thing that's really nice about sitting still and being quiet and drawing your energy inside is you get to experience yourself. Because I think we spend so much time putting out. We don't allow ourselves to receive. We also don't give ourselves time to get to know or understand our positive qualities or to even experience them. So you can use these sessions to do just that, to get to know your inner being and your positive qualities and to appreciate those. So your sits bones are slightly raised, and most importantly is to lengthen the spine. So you imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, and it's stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine someone has a piece of string and they're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between those vertebrae, lengthening all the muscles along the back. And your head is very slightly tipped forward and the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And just relax that jaw. Bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks. And the back of the head, particularly at the base of the skull. The ears, the inner ear. Back of the tongue and the jaw. Relax the back of the neck. Drop your shoulders down. Allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Your angel's wings. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. Limbs, hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And then bring the mind to the breath and just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Giving yourself permission to go inside. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to investigate them with your mind. Bringing the mind back to the breath and then notice what thoughts, feelings, sensations are arising in the mind. And just observe them objectively without criticism, without opinions, without making up stories. And then bring to mind the people of your life, your loved ones. Remembering to try and not take them for granted. Remembering those little things that might annoy or trigger you if you are in a committed relationship. Try and see beyond. What is the reason you're together? It's beyond, it's bigger than just those little niggly things. Those little things can be easily resolved with a little bit of work. And then there's those people in your life who you find a bit difficult. And then there's those people in your life who are just complete strangers. Now, they all can change place, those niggly bits that don't get resolved in a relationship. Maybe it's not possible. Maybe the karma's just finished. That person could turn into a stranger or even someone you feel uncomfortable around. A stranger could become a loved one. And think that they're all equal, though, in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering, and in having this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. So we start this practice by thinking there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so we can change it equally by creating positivity with our mind. So we start with the power of regret. So regret is not like guilt. Regret is just a responsible attitude of, well, I did this thing, it was harmful, well, I regret doing it. And the implication of regret is that you are going to try and turn it around somehow. Guilt, just you get stuck in this spinning cycle of feeling bad. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything that you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of future suffering. Who wants that? We know from the present suffering, we don't want it. So logically, it makes sense that we pull out these seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And we can also regret our delusions. So this is our depression and our anger and our bitterness and grudges, attachments, grasping, all of this. And think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor. So not a higher power by any means. A doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not needing Vajrasattva to forgive us. Again, not a higher power. We don't want him to take things away. We're going to do the work ourselves. So we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva now above the crown of your head, facing the same way as you. Or if detail is difficult, just imagine this ball of light, translucent, radiant light and white. And you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like your enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And has this radiant, beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone you may have harmed, maybe some sentient being you may have harmed, human, non-human, and try and develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then there's those who've harmed you. And as I was saying last night, the benefit of developing compassion towards these people is for you, not for them. Because while you have anger in your heart, you're only harming yourself. So the benefit is for you to develop a wish for them to be free from suffering. So we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine we take during the practice of purification. So we start by purifying the body. So Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dino Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe. So now be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is the purification of speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech, useless speech, and careless speech, and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling and overflowing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe And now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So every syllable that falls out of your mouth that is heard by yourself and others is of benefit to you and to them. So next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends again, but light this time. So it pours into you through the crown of your head, comes to your heart chakra. And just as when you walk into a room and you switch on a light, that light instantly dispels the darkness. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, just imagine that all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and depression and grasping and neediness and all the traumas and all the bits and pieces, all disappear, completely eradicated by this light and this mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me boa sutokaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anarakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra aham pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. So now be delighted again, all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time you imagine that Vajrasattva sends light again and nectar, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprint of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mipiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe. Now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. And even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So next we come to the power of resolve. The fourth and a really crucial step in this purification process is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So we just think to start with about refraining. Because we're human, it takes time to change the habits. So whatever it is you've been working on, whether it's your speech, whether you have a habit to squash ants, whether you send off emails, perhaps before reading them, maybe you're reactive, whatever it is you want to get on top of that's harmful to yourself and to others. And give yourself a very reasonable timeline. And if that timeline's becoming a little bit easy, then maybe extend it a bit more. Challenge yourself a little bit more. So here in this way, where we really are bringing it to the cushion, bringing it into your practice, being our own therapist, taking care of ourselves and others. So I think Vajrasattva is delighted with us, really happy and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into light, white light, and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And then we just do a tiny meditation on emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And you can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can think also too, the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all those people of my life, for the sake of sentient beings. And I think if Lorraine is here, it's Thomas, my father-in-law, so make the dedication for him. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tup Shu Chang Jin Jam Gan Galloway, Tenzin Kyung Pelaway, Kunza Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurwe Leg Mon to Drub, Pa Dag Sog Dulje, Kondu Jab Ten Shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. Bhagyeshi Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much. Lots of love. Have a safe weekend. We have more storms coming in. I think Monday is supposed to be another. And Sokel, which is very close to where Land of Medicine Buddha is, and Rinpoche's house, and Aptos, the beach down at Aptos is all Sokel is flooded and the beach is gone and the piers are gone. Yeah. And a lot of businesses have been really quite badly damaged. So they've all been red flagged. So a lot of prayers for them too, because it's very unpleasant to be wet and cold and to lose your business as well. So